How you holding up?
Oh, I'm good. It was like a week of recovery.
Yeah, same.
But you still got your own gym and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been out fucking painting all week. I'm trying to sell my mom's house and
Oh,
I thought we were like in the home stretch of getting ready to start showing it, and my realtor was like, we should probably like paint, and I'm like, dog, like asked you like months ago to send me a list of shit that's like absolutely we should do this before you know what I mean? Because I've had
yeah.
like contractors out there, and I'm like, money wise I'm kind of tapped, so I'm like, I could have painted the fucking place myself by now if you'd have told me,
Yeah.
so yeah, literally like Monday morning I'm up driving. It's like 2 hours away, so I'm driving, painting all day, come back, went back out 2 more days, was out there all weekend and shit. So
Damn.
yeah, I'm beat. I'm super beat. And then we're right back in camp for everything else already too.
Yes.
Are you all good?
Huh?
You all good?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm good. I'm good.
You ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right, let's do it, big dog. All right, well, we're back again with El Presidente. Appreciate you coming back on again. We wanted to get you back on. We're gonna try and link up with you. I'm gonna link up with Lonnie tomorrow. I'm trying to get with Vinny soon. I'm gonna talk to a bunch of people from the tournament just because I feel like overall it was awesome. From my experience, it was awesome. So I'm excited to see what everybody thinks. From all the other realms of what it took to make all that stuff work out. But so now that the dust has settled, it's been a week out. Like, how do you feel everything went like overall?
I think it went great. I'm one of those people that hold on to like little things, but I think that's what makes it better for me anyway.
Absolutely.
I'll overall I get all these positives, but the couple of negatives that I'll work to even make them better. You can't make everyone happy, obviously, but even those two or three out of the hundreds of positives, they still you just keep working and make
Yeah.
the tournament better. But overall, I was really happy. Man, just everything clicked. Lonnie's volunteer group, like awesome. I go
Killed
over
it.
there and
Yeah.
show them one thing that I never had. They never asked a question again about it. They were like, just boom, they got it. Um, all of the softwares and the live scoring. I mean, I don't think anyone knew. We had like maybe a blip for like one fight for like like for like I don't know a minute or two, and we got it right back. But everything was running so smooth, and man, I'm just grateful for all the team that helped put this on. The USA Muay Thai staff, volunteers, everybody. It was really good.
Yeah. I mean, it felt like a home run to all of us. Just like operation wise, like how everything was run. Like the app let us know what was going on. I mean, yeah, I like not a single thing that I would have said like I wish they'd have did this or did that. Like there's nothing. I mean, I think that's pretty fucking crazy for a
Yeah,
tournament of that size, especially too.
yeah,
I think at one point, we lost my license, and it turned out that like one of my guys had grabbed it, and but like the Lonnie's volunteer people were like frantic. They're like, "Don't worry, we're gonna find it." Like they were like, like hounding everybody, making sure, you know what I mean. And because I'd been messing with them all week. I'm like, "You guys are undefeated. You haven't lost nothing yet."
yeah,
Yeah, somehow I still don't even understand how he got it because he was like at the ring with me, like my guy Adrian. That's like constantly always with me, and
yeah,
I was like, let me just ask him because I was like, that's such an Adrian thing that he would actually have it because he's always on top of shit. And I was like, there's no physical way that he could have gone over there to get it. I still have no idea how it was possible, but he somehow he's
did
like,
it.
"Yeah, I got it." And I was like, "What the fuck?" So, yeah. Yeah, no, everyone killed it. I thought that was incredible. It was such a well run. You should be super proud.
Thank you.
Um like heading into it logistically, I know like last year last year, you know, you obviously made some changes. Like, what were the things going into it? You were like, okay, we want to do this different or that different, or was there anything?
Uh, small things that maybe some people don't see on the outside, like from the spectator point of view, but we absolutely wanted to get back onto the tablets for
Mm,
the scoring. It's just it's instant, it's fast, saves saves a bunch of paper.
yeah,
Um, I really enjoy that. I think that's you know that was it was synced up. The scores were popping up. Everything was working well with that. Last year, we had I think we had a difficulty with the Wi-Fi. Like we needed like a very stable and high dedicated Wi-Fi. So I think we were doing where we had to take a score from each judge and then get
mm,
it collected after each round and then input it into a computer. So that was like a lot of work. So
yeah.
that was one of the things is like, dude, we gotta. I don't care. It's got to be done. We got to do it. Another thing from last year that kind of just for me anyway, it's just I think people see it is that we have Tanong there from Lumpini Stadium, and he just kind of
So cool.
keeps everything and uh, keeps everybody at a high standard. I mean, he's he's not really hands on in the tournament, but every day there's training, and when he's looking at you, it's kind of like when your coach is looking at you, you got to be on
Yeah,
point. You can't be
yeah.
messing about. So that was another thing I felt like, man, we got to have him here. And yeah, it was I mean, it was those were a couple things. Those was like on the scoring and judging. I wanted to also have the three doctors just in case a ring gets held up. You have another doctor that can jump in. It just also helps with check, well, not check-ins, the yeah, I guess the morning weigh-in and check-in
Yeah.
physical.
Yeah.
Um, just I mean, a lot of these things that I'm saying cost money, right? But I think
Hmm.
that overall it's worth the investment of these things.
Yeah, I feel like I think that's super clear because like you said, it's like little stuff that only you would think about because if it caused a problem before, you would hear about it. But because you didn't hear about it, it's one of those things that just kind of like, you're not gonna get patted on the back for it, obviously, only because there wasn't any problems,
Right.
which kind of sucks, but it's all, I'll pat you on the back, because
Oh, thank
yeah.
you. Yeah, and it's cool. Like when you do it, when we have it on the tablets, it's all kind of you can go back and look at the scores and stuff like
Hmm.
that. If you go
Yeah.
into it was one of our link tree, you could go in and you have like the daily fight schedule, and you can look up and see how the judges scored each round and stuff like that. And I think
Yeah, that was cool. We did that.
that
Yeah.
that helps out with coaches and
Hmm.
whatnot. So yeah.
Yeah. The venue was awesome. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, that was the staff the staff at the venue itself, top
beautiful.
notch.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was. I think, yeah, all this stuff was it was amazing, man. Like everybody just. I mean, we had some wild stuff start off this tournament, but at the there's somebody pulling a fire alarm, and then someone
Oh
from a
shit.
basketball team bumped into a fire alarm, like two fire alarms within before the first fight started. It's kind of wild,
Damn, that's crazy.
but
I
overall
know
the
at one point
tournament's
somebody accidentally turned the lights off or something. And I was like, are there actual switches in this big ass room?
yeah. But overall, man, I was just yeah, the venue it's gonna be hard to top this one. I just
Yeah.
the one thing I think that um I can say the only thing that kind of bummed me out was a lot of withdrawals with some of the
Yeah.
big names.
Yep.
I would love to have seen Aaron Ortiz get some rounds in, Donovan McIver get some rounds in.
Yep.
Um, yeah, it's unfortunate sometimes it goes like that, but I hope that the word gets out from this tournament, and I think I think it's gonna keep growing. Little by little. Um, this is the tournament. You got to make your time. March, be there.
Yeah. Absolutely. So you guys are gonna stick to this like time of year?
Yeah,
That's
March
great.
because of the adults. We may do kids in the summer next year, just
Yeah.
because. it's a little closer to the date of when they compete. They compete in September,
Mm,
and these kids, they grow so fast and change, and they're getting more experience. Fight. So it's like if you have something in March, you got April, May, June, July, August, and then they compete September. It's almost 6 months. So
yeah.
it might be better to do something in July or something like that for the kids. But I don't know. We're kind of debating that. But adults for sure, March, just because they got April, May to the adult world championships.
Yeah. Yeah, I think money wise, sometimes I feel like it would be cool to have a little bit more time, but like time of the year wise, it works out perfectly. And I like starting, we are planning on this thing like in November, and
Mm-hmm.
then now that we know that the date is March, it's like, okay, next year, we're already locked in on how we're gonna line
Yeah.
everything up for next year already. So yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I know all this stuff is a investment, but I don't know. Some of these guys, they're living real nice. Because I tell you, I'm not joking. When I first came back from Thailand, I started taking teams to tournaments and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I remember we would go to the TVA, and we would put six in a room. I'm not
Yeah.
joking.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
um, that's what it was. You got to get these rounds. We got to get this experience at all
Absolutely.
costs. If we can put six in a room, so be it. But
100%.
it's just playing it now. It's it's been this way. I think the last 2 or 3 years. Just plan it, put it in your schedule. March,
Yep.
that's the adult qualifier.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And then a venue wise, you guys think that you will go back there next year maybe?
We don't get that exact room, but they have a bigger room, and we might split that room.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
so
Okay.
it's like they have a bigger um, conference room. That's well, not a conference room, but like
Like
they
a
had
big
like
ballroom
trade
kind
show.
of.
They had like a
Yeah.
home and garden or something show that was going on during the same time as our tournament.
Oh shit.
It's bigger than ours, but they were like the one that we had was more of a ballroom for
Yeah.
weddings and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
they don't want to risk these Muay Thai
Yeah, and
hooligans
they're
putting a
bleeding
hole in the wall or
and Did you have any problems like that though? I think everybody's
no,
done.
just like in the very first like in the very first three bouts, it was like we had a trash can, but they were like one of those ones that have like the small square where you put bottles in,
Yeah.
like you can't put like big things in there. And they were by each ring, and I was like, no, nah, because like coaches were like putting the mouthpiece outside the ring and dump and like cleaning the mouthpiece, and like one of their staff was like, "What are you doing? You're like, dumping water all over the carpet." I'm like, "Oh,
Oh
whoa!"
shit.
So then they put a big trash can in every corner, and then we didn't have a problem anymore. And I was just like,
Nice.
"Yeah, thank God." 'Cause
Yeah, it
nothing,
felt
no holes in the wall, no,
good.
yeah, thank
Yeah,
God.
it's kind of one of those rooms that like felt so nice that you wanted. I felt like we were all trying to be careful. Like, don't
Yeah,
pick that up, man. Don't leave that shit laying around.
yeah,
Like almost too nice for a bunch of fighters.
yeah.
Uh, this year's elite. Uh, was there any standouts in the elite or anybody you were kind of like looking forward to?
Um, I thought De La Paz and Manny,
Yeah.
that was nice. Very high level. De La Paz is slick. He's good.
Yeah, I was super excited to see how that unfolded and was
that was
hoping
like
it happened obviously, but yeah, then when I saw it was made, I was like, oh shit, here we go.
yeah. We had a lot of like banger fights. More
Mm-hmm.
so than like the slick tactician
Yeah,
style fights. We had some people going after it, which is cool too.
yeah.
Yeah, he had a lot. I thought your 57 kg fighter did really well. He did
Thank you.
he was really good. Um let me think. What was some of the other ones? Those were those kind of ones that stood out as like because
Yeah,
they've not done our tournament before, but I knew who they
yeah.
were. And then when I saw them,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Oh, they're going to be a good fit for IFMA." They go 3 rounds, they just going and they're collecting, bump, 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 bump. So they were
Yeah,
great to see. Trying to think. It was
A lot of fights.
yeah, it was a lot of like 1-to-1 fights going into the third round, like third round
Hmm.
deciding it. Couple fights like that.
Yeah, our Trey's first fight with David from Dan's gym, we were down one, and I was like, oh shit, like, because the IFMA, obviously I'm telling you, like, you don't know that, but for the people who don't know, a lot of times at IFMA, if you lose the first round, like, it's really hard to get back from that. So we really had to turn up for sure.
I think the women's 63.5 kg. I think it was Aaron and Teresa. I want to say that was a good fight. I think
Yeah,
that was
and then
that
she
was a really
fought
good.
Smelker in the finals from Hard Knocks. And so Aaron beat Gianna, who has like just been tearing everybody up.
Yeah,
Gianna beat Yaz in a tough fight on Warriors Cup, and then Aaron stopped Gianna, and then I
yeah.
think
That I've
fought.
got all the names. I think it
Yeah,
was,
no, it's tough. It's a
but
lot.
yeah,
It's a,
those that within
yeah,
that two weight classes, those the women in there looked very
yeah,
good. They're very competitive fights, so that was cool.
super.
Um, yeah, for sure, those were good ones. Some of the kids fights were awesome. I'd say standout. Georgie from Dan's gym did really well. He fought my kid.
He's
It was
so good.
a
Yeah,
medalist last year.
your kid's a beast too.
And then he, I had a couple. Yeah, it was, yeah. I mean, a lot of talent. I just hope that people like look. This is where it's at. I'm sorry if you
Yeah,
go into tournaments, like this is the highest level tournament.
yeah,
Come and not to say that this. Don't go to other tournaments. I didn't say that. I'm saying, but for
yeah,
the highest level, this is where you want to come and get it. You're going to get highest level officiating, highest level fights. I mean, some of the gyms I see of this tournament, it's a little. I mean, like very respectable gyms, and there's a reason why they come here.
yeah.
So I just, I mean, there's like it's cool to see that like there was some I think there was some other tournaments going on, within the same time frame. And there was actually one going on the same weekend, and there was gyms from that region that came up to ours. So that's like, you know, that says something. I'm
Yeah.
happy to see stuff like that. That people recognize that it's a different level, and it's not to say, you know, not to say anything negative of these other ones, but it's just a different level. You got to weigh in every day of your fights. There's no other tournament in the USA doing that, and you're gonna be taking on some of the best gyms that are vying for a spot. So
Yeah.
a lot on the line. So
Yeah, I mean, it's like there's no, like obviously you go to a show or any other like shit, even some of the other tournaments, and you'll draw some gyms where you're like, not no disrespect, but there's obviously some gyms where you're like, you're gonna get slightly easier fights out of, and then but this one was like there's not none of that. It's like
yeah,
literally all the gyms you don't want to fight filled up the entire thing from all over the country. So yeah, this one you definitely had to be on point for sure. Nothing but killers showed up.
I think the next one's gonna be if there there was a lot of B class guys I thought were really good, and given
Yeah.
another year of fights, that I think it's gonna be good to see them in the. And some of them look young too, so maybe they'll be in the under 23 division, or maybe in the
Mm-hmm.
elite. So
Yeah.
a couple of the under 23 guys didn't have bouts, and they jumped in the elite, and a couple of them ended up winning. The guy Coy from, I think it
Mm-hmm.
was 71 kg,
Yeah.
he
From
was
Forza.
he won. And then De La Paz, he won as well. So
So will they go to IFMA at under 23, or will you keep them
yeah,
in
they have
that?
the option of what they want to
Okay.
do.
Cool.
They probably want
Yeah.
to get that experience. They probably want to be in the under 23.
Yeah.
If I
Absolutely.
remember, I think they're both doing under 23. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. That's awesome.
So
Yeah, some good fights. Yeah, Cody's a beast, man. I've been watching him for a while. He had a tough fight with Manny last year there, and then I was glad to see him back this year. I'm real close with that gym in general. So yeah, I think that was actually my next question was was there any standouts in the intermediate? Anybody you think like next year you might be
Yeah,
excited?
like Straight Blast Gym from Idaho, I think it
Yeah, they had a
was.
bunch of guys that were
Yeah, a lot of
sharp.
slick
Yeah.
guys, a lot of you know, Muay Cow fighters, doing
Mm-hmm.
some knees and clinching on some guys. It was good to see,
Yeah.
they had two or three that were like, wow, man, these guys are pretty slick.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I wasn't familiar with them before the tournament. I don't think, but yeah, they were sharp.
yeah,
They definitely stood out.
yeah, they did good. Shoot, there's a lot. I mean, I don't know. There
Yeah.
was some people because like some of the gyms weren't registered,
Yeah.
that I didn't know they were even coming. And then when I saw them, I was like, "Yo, I didn't see your gym on the list." And they're like, "Oh, I haven't
Right.
registered the gym yet, or something." I had a difficulty with it, but
Yeah.
hopefully we get them all on there next. Because I think people afterwards saw that how cool it was to have like the team rankings, right? So
Yeah, hell yeah.
yeah,
Hopefully,
so
yeah. I made sure I posted our shit. Yeah.
yeah, you better get registered.
That's right. Yeah. And besides
uh,
the fact of supporting, obviously it's cool to see, where your team is ranked in the country at the end of these things. It's awesome,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. Yeah, that was they probably stood out for the intermediate, and then I mean, geez, East Side,
Yeah.
Level
Every
Up, you
time.
guys, Hard Knocks,
Yep.
Jake's new gym slash Hard Knocks. Oh, I mean, just yeah, there was some good ones. Yeah, I think some of the gyms probably could have. I mean, it's frustrating with the withdrawals. I mean, it was some division that
Yeah.
I that had 7 to 8 people, and it went down to one. Like
Yeah.
Donovan McIver at one time had at the 63 and a half, I think, or maybe it was 67. I don't remember, but they had 7 athletes, and it got all the way down to one.
That's
And,
insane.
that's just
And do you attribute that to like people not wanting to fight or just you don't know?
they start researching, and then they're like, oh,
Yeah, that was usually my guess, you know what I mean? But you never know. I know we were planning to bring Gary and he banged his foot up pretty bad in his last fight, and then we weren't sure too like once we got for word from the Glory that our first fight was going to be May 1st, so it was kind of like
hmm.
if he comes and does it and wins, is that a dick move to whoever else is in there, or is he gonna be banged up and then Glory's gonna be pissed at us too? So,
Yeah.
but because that bracket was vicious too. Ryan Faithy was originally in there, and Jabril, and a couple other killers in there too. So I know we kind of fucked that one up.
Yeah, that one was up a little bit, and then it dropped down.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna try to incentivize some of the elites maybe next year to just get them in there. I mean, obviously, I think this tournament, I mean, was the best run, best overall. Like the most talented one was the World Games qualifier, and what
hmm
brought everybody out to that was that we're paying. We're paying for the team, so we paid for the team that year because it was the World Games. If there comes that day, we keep getting our leveling up and leveling up. I really feel that that's what's the key that really brings everybody in again is
yeah,
just hey, we're covering the cost. They're like, oh yeah, I'm there.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll be
yeah,
there.
yeah. It's tough. But I do think he's starting to trend more towards people are getting back on board, just wanting to represent the team, and I do like I love the addition of the tournament just because I feel like it's a spot that to be able to fight and earn it makes the most sense, stuff like that too. So the people that do end up going are going to be the ones that like really want to be there, and are willing
Mhm.
to fight for it and stuff like that too. So
And I
uh,
said it last time we were talking that ever since we started doing qualifiers, the team has produced better numbers. So
yeah. Makes sense. Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
getting used to what the tournament is.
Mhm.
There's some people that that don't prefer to do a same day weigh-in fight that day. Uh, they wanted some people 5 round versus 3 round, all that stuff. So once you
Yeah.
start getting people in that more runs in that format, they're going to be better.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's good for them to get that taste of it too before you go and just be like, oh shit, you know, like
Yep.
some people struggle making weight one time, so you're gonna try to do it over and over again. They're picking the wrong weight classes and stuff like that.
Yep.
Trey had a little bit of trouble this time too, out of the blue. He also hit his knee was jacked. We weren't sure if he was gonna be able to fight. It worked out that we ended up having the day in between, because we just compressed it and soaked him and iced him and had it up and tried to keep him
Yeah.
off it that day in between, and then like hit pads a little bit the night before, and then he had like, I don't even know how, but he somehow put back 5 pounds on, I guess because he just wasn't up and moving around and stuff. I don't
Yeah.
It was crazy. I was like, holy shit, because we couldn't really go like run super hard or do anything too crazy on the knee because we wanted to save it for the fight. So but come fight day, it seemed okay. So thank God he was able to get in there, and I was waiting for him to just take one bad kick there and just collapse or something. But
No, you
once he
did
got
great.
in there and got going,
Good.
he was okay. Yeah, yeah, that was a banger. That was definitely a banger. So for the team that's going, how do you feel? We're looking for the team that's going to IFMA this year.
Good for both. Uh,
Yeah,
like I said, we had
kids,
like
obviously.
three
Yeah,
three like guys that are you know done a couple of them didn't get to
yeah,
fight. So there's even stronger guys aside from what we saw. There's some other guys and girls that are really good as well. Um, Kids are gonna be, you know, a lot of times the kids is dependent upon the draw. But
yeah,
we have some that are a lot of return. I thought that was really cool at the nationals to see a lot of the kids that were on the team last year. They would all gather around the ring and cheer on
yeah.
their
That was
USA
awesome.
teammate. That was really cool
Yeah,
to see.
yeah.
So the
You can tell they made
camaraderie,
that
all that
bond.
stuff
Yeah,
is, yeah, it's cool. So a lot of them are on the team again. So I think as they keep growing, man, that's gonna be. It's just like we had a large group at the time. There was the uh
yeah,
Tierra,
like Tiara
Becca's,
and
the
Becca and
Coles,
Selena and yeah,
the Cole,
yeah,
all them young. They're all they were monsters in the
yeah.
U.S.
Oh my God, just head
And
kicking people to sleep and
and
yeah,
so now they're all still very. So yeah, if we get this group another wave of, that's what you gotta do is just keep producing and having people see the vision. The vision being get experience, get as
yeah,
much international experience, and just keep leveling up.
yeah,
Don't
100%.
take those. Don't take tomato fights. Don't take those.
Don't take those tomato fights. Don't get you nowhere. I know. That's why I like. It's obviously always a tough pill to swallow to take the losses, but if they're at least fighting really high level competition. And my two kids, we brought this year. One fought one of the Zelenskys, and then one fought Landon Cahill, and you could tell like that in the fight it was a lot of just like, okay, you could see where the kid knew that they could push, and my kids were just like having to get used to a little bit higher level pace,
Yeah,
and because both of them scrap, both of them usually go out there and leave it all in the ring and are either banging it out the whole time or winning by like TKO and stuff like that. So I knew they had it in them, but I think it's just a different level that they need to feel. And now we'll spend the next year trying to find more fights like that to bring them back next year and see if we can get them
yeah.
on the team. But
I mean, that's about the highest. I mean, those two kids have
yeah,
some of the most experience in the U.S.
yeah,
So there's no
yeah.
shame in those fights.
No, not at all. I was proud. I was super proud of them, and it gives them a goal to work for next year. Because they're probably going to see the same kids, and they're going to have to do some work to dethrone them and try to get on that team. So
Yeah,
that's the goal, right?
yeah, yeah.
Uh, what's next right now? Like planning wise, I know you start getting things together for like travel and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
next is sending out everything for the adults and then also sending out for the kids.
Yeah.
Just getting it all out there because we want to give them as much time as they can to fundraise and do events and whatnot for their at their gyms and community and stuff like that. Uh, we might try to do a summer camp for the kids. We will do
Oh,
a summer
cool.
camp for the kids
Yeah.
where it's like a preparation, but it's open to everyone. It'll be like the USA kids, but also just everyone. Like 2 or 3 days. I got a secret on that yet. I'll drop it soon, but on where we're
Okay.
doing it and who's going to
Damn,
be
that's
there.
awesome. Yeah.
Real like competition oriented, like no seminar flash,
Yeah.
catch a leg, spinning elbow, jumping, climb and break the coconut stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just straight competition Muay Thai, right? So
Damn, that's awesome. And that'll be open to like adults, coaches, everybody?
yeah. It's going to be open to everyone, but it's going to be well, there'll be adults like more so like it's like if they're there to just like the chaperone kids or like be there as a
Yeah.
coach, but it's going to be
Yeah,
more
yeah.
so for the kids
Both geared
because
towards the
by the
youth. Damn,
time
that's badass.
by the time we do it, the adults will already have competed. So
Yeah.
it's just the timing. It's hard to get it done, but we'll wait till after like TBA and the other stuff in the summer and probably do it in, I don't know, like late July or something like that.
Okay.
Get everybody together and
Yeah, I would love to get my kids out there
because
for
it's going
that.
to
I think
be
that'd be
also
awesome.
just like not only are they going to do drilling and learning, they got to learn the scoring also, and that's going to be open for the parents as well because I know so many parents um, they want to know. If you get the parents to know, I think it helps out a little bit.
Yeah.
Have the more of the coaches are learning. It's good. Like this
Yeah.
year, I didn't have so many coaches. I had more so parents yelling at me. But
Nice. Oh,
that's
yelling at you? Oh, I thought you meant just learning. Oh shit. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
no. But I mean, like, there's some things that are at IFMA that are not they're not going to see other. There's things at our tournaments and IFMA that you're not going to see elsewhere in the U.S. with like regards to like the counts and the point
Mm.
deductions, not an
Yeah.
automatic 10-8. Like if there's a draw, there can't be a draw. There's got to be a selected winner at the end, stuff like that. Just
Yeah.
uh, little things, and yeah, we're gonna do a little, not like a judge and referee course, but just like a scoring. This is how you score these style fights for the kids and the parents as well at the camp. So that'd be cool. I think it's much
Yeah.
needed, and we'll have some guys, special guests that are specialized in the IFMA, the tournament style of Muay
Yeah.
Thai.
Damn, that's sick. Yeah, I'll keep me posted. You know, when you guys announce, obviously, I'll love to bring my kids out. I think it'd be great for them. And then, shit, I want to learn too. You know
Yeah.
me, if I can, whatever I can sponge up, I'm always trying to pick up whatever little gems I can too. You know.
Yes.
Do you
Yeah.
think you'd ever do something like that for the adults? I know it's a little harder to like get them to
Yeah. It's
fucking
just
do anything, but
yeah, maybe like the end of the year. I'm trying to think.
yeah.
I'm trying to lock in a deal with a certain place for us to hold
Okay.
these things, and if
Yeah.
that happens, then I think it'll open up the doors for a lot of camps and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
we're working on something kind of cool. Hopefully, it comes to fruition.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Yeah, like almost like an Olympic training center type situation, something like that. Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
cool. That would
Mhm.
be awesome. Just gotta get some people with some money to get involved in this damn
Yeah,
thing for once, you
there's
know?
something in the pipeline for the training, and hopefully it
Nice.
works out. If not, we'll bring them down to Texas,
Yeah.
train like
Hey,
dogs.
train like dogs, man. We're get that
No,
tall grass ready.
no AC.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Yeah, no, that's what they need, man. That's exactly what they need. I heard you a couple of rapid fires. We actually answered a couple of them already, and then I'll let you get going, brother, because I know you got stuff to do. Did you what most exciting fight of the tournament for you? Doesn't have to be the best one, just one that you just like. Damn, I love that fight. That was awesome.
Man, there's a couple. I mean, some of the kids were great. Um,
His were
some of
awesome. Yeah,
some of the novice where they had to fight 3 or 4 times to see them kind of get that. There was a heavyweight fight. I want to say that they were intermediate, and this guy just got so emotional and was weeping after the fight
Yeah,
and hugging his coach. I was like, oh man, look at this. That's cool.
yeah. I think that
That
was.
was
I think I got a bit. He had like
yeah,
braids, big braids. Yeah, I think he's
yeah,
from Rajasi. I saw that too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
yeah.
love to
It
see
was
that, and he
that
won
was
too,
cool.
right?
Yeah, and
Yeah, that's sick.
throughout the tournament, I was no, they weren't like they weren't doing the Houston, swinging and banging.
Yeah, yeah.
They were actually like, you know, it was
Right.
clean.
Yeah.
I mean, it was cool to see that. There was a fight. One of the guys from my gym and a guy from Dominic Simmons' gym. I mean, they both destroyed each other for. I think it was 1-1 going into the last round,
Mm.
and then yeah, they just that was a just that was rough. That was their first. That was the first fight of the tournament. That was one. There was another one later in the tournament that was similar to that. It was like 1-1 going into the last round. I'm trying to remember what it was, but I think that's that cool. I think that's what's cool about the live scoring. You see it, and you're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh shit, it's 1-1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I wish I would have seen more of you and your guy and David's fight. That would have been. I didn't get to catch much of that. I was kind of early
Yeah.
in the tournament, so I was like flying around everywhere.
Yeah. That was a tough one. I told Danny afterwards because they we lost the first round, and I gave him his props later because I like he's one of the coaches I've learned the most from over the years. Like any wisdom he's ever willing to impart on me, like I take it all in, and but during the fight, he was like body kicks, and I was like, yeah, Trey body kick. I'm like, I stole his whole thing because I'm like, yeah, that's right. I'm like, thank you for reminding me, Dane. Like, we need to make sure that we're chucking our body kicks too. So I kind of stole his strategy in the middle of the fight, and yeah, that one was good though, man. I was honestly. I thought the first round was close. I thought we could have got it maybe, but I wasn't like, all right, what the fuck? Like when we were down, and then round two, same thing. Like I was like, I'm not sure, until the score popped up. So yeah, I love live scoring, man. I think
I think I mean overall just like how I'd say De La Paz was the man. He showcased some very over. I mean, total skill.
absolutely, yeah.
Punch, kick, knee, clinch,
You got spinning elbow knockout too, right?
total package, man. He was on point, like really on point.
And Manny, everyone,
Uh,
we all know how good Manny is too. So it's
Manny
like
was
that's a
great.
big W. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you that was a good one. Okay, Manny's fight versus Andrada's guy. I think
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
that
yeah,
one was probably one of my favorite fights to watch of the tournament because it was like Manny very calculated, sharp. He's like
hmm
a sniper with his left hand, and Andrade's guy was very slick in the clinch, like
yeah,
very slick in the clinch. And I think that one was 1-1 going into the last round. Yeah, that one. I think that one was one of the better fights of the tournament, just because
yeah. That was a great fight.
the other one that I said that was 1-1, those guys were just banging, and
Yeah.
it was cool. You like that? But
Yeah,
this
yeah.
this was like a good style fight,
Yeah.
and they were very technical, and it was a good fight. I would say that one was probably one of the ones that stood out to me.
Awesome to see Jason Andrade too. Shout out to you, big buddy. It was cool to see him bringing some fighters out to these things.
Yeah, and it was cool because we were teammates at 2009. So he's like, man, I
Oh
gotta
yeah.
I gotta bring it full circle. I'm like, yeah, that's right,
Yeah.
man.
Hell
We
yeah.
need
No, it's awesome
more
to see
Jason
him.
Andradas. I got so many teammates.
Yeah.
They know that this is where you got to go. I mean, that's
Right.
where you went, and they
Yeah.
go and they do these other things that are kind of easier. And yes, that's me
Mm.
calling you out. Come on, guys, what are
Yeah.
you doing? You know, uh, I guarantee that Andrada puts somebody on the team very soon. Maybe even that guy because he saw this, and I guarantee they're the type they're going to get better from this type of thing. So
100%. Yeah, one of my like OG students, like honestly, probably like my very first fighter. Uh, and he was coming up around the same time as Jason too. Like that went pro not too long after him. They were like same weight class, and I thought always thought that they might end up having to fight each other at some point, which I wasn't looking forward to at all because I was like such a huge Jason fan. But anyways, he ended up moving out to Vegas not too long ago, and he's now training out there under Jason, which is really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, such an awesome. I'm so he and actually Jason told me that he's been slacking the last couple weeks, so I gotta send him a text and
Oh,
tell him to quit bullshitting. I think you already answered this, but which was there one gym that really like kind of impressed you this year? I know you said that straight blast gym kind of popped out. Like,
I mean, because they were new to the
well, yeah,
tournament for me, but
that's
yeah,
always cool to see. Like,
they were
oh shit.
impressive.
Obviously, Hard Knocks. Obviously, East Side. Like, can't like those guys like ran it up. I mean, gave them some love on the East
I
Coast
think
page
there
because they
were
tore it up.
a team that's kind of coming up was the kids with was the Warman Gym. They did good. I think they're from
Mhm.
Minnesota. They did pretty good.
Okay.
A lot of energetic kids,
Yeah.
big group of kids. That's what I like to see. That where a coach is leading a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
So that was good to see. Yeah, I'm looking at that. We need more of those, like the teams that have like two or three kids coming.
Hmm.
That's kind of showing that next level. Hopefully the next wave. I talked about that earlier with the group of girls, now women, that came up
Yeah.
under USA Muay Thai. Now they're all like professional level.
Yeah. Three of the best in the world.
Now we got another wave hopefully coming up. So yeah, that was impressive. Yeah.
Anyone most improved from last year? Anybody jump out like from last year to this year that you're like, damn, they made a big jump.
I think, I mean, Coy, you take some people take losses like that and they say, "Oh, I'm done,"
Yeah.
and he just adjusted, went to the right weight class, and uh, the people think he's just a puncher. He diversifies it, man. He throws elbows and knees, and he's he's messing up people.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
matter what, like, oh, that's not this, that's not that, man. You losing. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's a juggernaut, man. He
yeah,
can do it
he
all.
did good. I mean, I think I've always seen him fight. I always enjoy him just coming forward, and he doesn't stop. And it's always good to see someone have he had a rough go at it last year, and then
Hmm.
adjust, come back, and not only win but win impressively. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm excited to see him with his style at IFMA. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, I think he's got great style for the tournament. So I'm excited to see him out there doing his thing for sure. And then last thing, if you could describe the tournament in one word, what would it be? It's a tough one.
Oh,
Texas.
it's not a good. It's like this is I don't know, organized,
That's a perfect one,
smooth,
honestly. I think that's a
smooth.
really good one. Yeah, smooth. There you go. I like smooth. I think we put the
Yeah,
smooth stamp on there because it was definitely that for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was smooth. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I Before this tournament, we had this was like the fourth and a half one. So I like one of the years we did like a kids tournament in the summer, but I think it was like four and a half, five tournaments. We had never had any protests, but we had some of this. It was just natural. It was bound to happen. But we had a few,
Yeah.
and you know, it happens. But that's the kind of stuff where I'm like always trying to be so good. But if you think about four tournaments, five tournaments, and we only had four, I think it was three or four protests. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I don't think anybody's gonna do that. And it was just good to bring um, all the officials together. People think there's all this politics and stuff, but if you're an official, it's like officials are independent and they're for the betterment of the sport, for the athletes, for everything. And I think this tournament probably with the officials, probably the best assembled for a tournament that we've had.
Yeah.
So it's good. When you when you go and review fights with the crew that we have, and you got Tanong there, it's like pretty
Yeah.
confident in the decision we made. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm not, uh, I'm just there to make sure everything is, fair, balanced, good, and I mean it was awesome. I mean, smooth and everything is like just so much from everyone,
Yeah,
and man, it was really good.
it
I'm
really was.
so I don't know. I gotta like was telling Lonnie, man, I'm gonna like I know he's gonna take his team out to dinner or something. I don't know, man. I'm gonna send them Christmas gifts. Like I need you
Yeah.
back next year,
Yeah.
please.
Hell
So
yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I'll have him on tomorrow, so I'll make sure to give him lots of love too, man. He did a great job. Like
Yeah, I
everybody,
mean,
Vinny, you, Lonnie, I mean obviously Dez and Marcy, like everybody was crushing it,
Vinny's
everybody.
the MVP this year
Yeah.
because he had to like manually input everyone's registration into a different
Mm.
database so we could run that live scoring. So it would show up on your streams,
Shit.
on the pay-per-view streams, it show up on
Yeah.
the that guy did a lot of work, like a lot of work. So man, hats off to him. The stream, I mean, how many events you've gone to a stream suck? The streaming team
Everyone.
killed it.
Yeah.
Everything was like
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah.
I'm very happy. I mean, as a as my last one as president, I'm not leaving anywhere. I'm
Yeah.
just saying
Yeah.
as president, I don't know if I could ask for a better one. It was pretty damn good tournament. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
No.
very happy and
Went out
thankful
with a
for
bang.
the team, man. There's no none of this is an individual. So it's a
Yeah.
collective effort of people that just love it. And of all those people you named, none of us have been paid. We don't
Yeah.
take money for this. We do this all voluntarily. And I mean, go look at the tax records. Ain't nobody on that
Right.
list is taking a check.
Yeah.
So I'm
Ain't
just
no
happy.
1099s over here, baby.
Yeah, I mean, there are 1099s for officials and stuff like that,
Of
and
course, yeah.
but like
Not
we
on
are.
that list.
I'm not on that list.
Yeah.
Vinny, Lonnie,
Yeah.
but we do this for the love of it, and I think it was like full expression of our vision at this tournament, man. So I'm just very happy. I still think I'm like having a hangover from it. Not in
Yeah.
that like I'm more like the like just still waking up about like I
Yeah.
gotta go to weigh-ins and stuff
Like
like
holy shit.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I hear you. It took me a couple of days to get yeah, you just get into that groove of like, all right, I gotta get to sleep because I gotta get up in the morning and weigh in and then like who's fighting tomorrow and yeah, you get it's like wartime almost, You kind of
Yeah.
get like it becomes like your life, especially when you're there for same like IFMA, you
Mhm.
get out there, you get used to your routine, like where you're eating at, what time, all that stuff and yeah, it's awesome. I love tournaments. I would spend all my time at tournaments if I could, and this is one of the best ones I've ever been to. And I'm happy as it being the last one as you being president. You deserved this to be like that experience for sure because you put a ton of work in, and you even though obviously it took a team. I mean, it was your leadership that got us all here. So you're appreciated, brother. I thank you so much for
Thank you
everything. Yeah.
very much. And I'm not going anywhere. I know some people are
Yeah.
like, hey, Corley's gone, blah.
No,
Nah,
we're not letting you out. Yeah.
nah, I got some stuff
Like, "Dude, pull me back
coming up.
in."
Just
Yeah.
not gonna be president.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh yeah, I'm gonna be a little more free to do some things and it's gonna be for the betterment of everything. There's gonna be people. Look, man, you've been to IFMA, you've seen some of these presidents and different you've been to different organizations. You see some of the guys like the same guy in charge for like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the more I find success in the organizations that allow just to keep growing and getting bigger. And you got to have different people come in. I'm not the best at this. I'm not the best at that. I'm better at this. I got to
Mm-hmm.
bring in people that are good at all these different facets of the game. And I did what I did. We did a lot of stuff. But the stuff that I'm good at, I'm gonna still do. It's time to level up in more of the business fundraising.
Mm.
That's not my I'm okay at it. I've
Yeah.
delegated to some people that are good at it too, but I think it's time for us to level up and allocate my time more into what I'm really excel at and build some teams in that. And I think it's going to be really good. I trust that the people are going to vote a good person in, and we're going to only grow from here because I'm going to still be involved. It's going to
Yeah.
be good.
Yeah. 100%. Well, I'm excited to see you, back up on that ring too, man. Coaching, actually
Yeah,
getting
I want to
to
be
lead your
definitely back.
fighters. So,
That's
um,
that's very tough too. Is it
yeah,
being
I can't imagine.
training these guys and then going to the tournaments? I can't corner them.
Yeah.
Anything USA Muay Thai sanctioned, I don't corner them. So yeah,
That's tough. Well, and I know it's that like people want to understand too, like that's going to elevate the game too, having you back in that position. People are going to get harder fights out of you're going to have
that's
more
right.
killers out there. So we know. Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank
Awesome,
you.
brother. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for your time. Thanks for coming on again, especially so quick. Definitely just wanted to jump on here and talk about the tournament so much because it was so good. And it's probably the next couple of episodes are pretty much all going to be about the tournament. So,
Yeah,
uh, yeah, it deserves
they
it
all
though.
have different stuff of it. So
100%.
they
Yeah.
Vinny had a couple people competing. He did all of the so much. Yeah, you could just
So
talk about
much. Yeah.
Lonnie, all
Yeah.
of them. Yeah, they did amazing. So yeah, thank you for having me on, and thank you to everyone that came out to the tournament. We're just gonna make it better next year too. So keep coming out.
Hell yeah. Can't wait, brother. Appreciate you. All right, boss man.
Later.
Peace. Yo, yo.
Yo,
What's happening? We are recording.
nice. I heard it. It said recording in
Got it
progress.
right this time. Yeah. Starting off correct. You know what I'm
There we
saying?
go.
How you holding up, brother?
Not bad, you know.
Yeah.
You hear me all right?
Yeah. No, it sounds good.
Okay.
Busted out the old faithful mic.
Yeah, I didn't bring out the the stand and everything, but figured
Yeah.
I'll at least bring out the good mic.
Nah, it's exciting. Sounds good. Sounds real good. I know. I need to get a little setup. I need to get a little setup at some point, and I still want to make like a little set in here, so for when I actually can have people come down, shoot it in
Yeah.
like a little setup here. I think that would be cool. And eventually that's like the goal. You know what I mean? Like actually be able to
Yeah.
bring people in. So gotta get these YouTube numbers up though.
How's it going so far?
Good, good. I'm trying to hit it from a couple different angles. Like this is like, 50, 60 per video or something right now. And I'm just not worrying about those numbers at all right now. I'm just like, I have my goal. I'm doing it for 52 weeks. No matter what, making sure I get my video up and just trying to get myself mixed up in the algorithm.
Yeah.
Uh, and then posting. I think before, and maybe I don't know, maybe it made a difference or not. But before I was doing I had made like the late night level up like a whole separate thing, and I had some that had like 500 and stuff like that. So I don't know if that made a difference. But anyways, like I've been putting up some shorts and like from like class stuff, and then even like some of my memes and shit, just to get the channel pumping or whatever, and then like yeah, I always forget the power of the memes, man. Like I put one up, just a random one of like Tommy Morrison getting laced by Ray Mercer the other day, and it was like that's like 40,000 views now already.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think if I just keep dropping the shorts with the memes, and then kind of connecting all the videos together, it'll get there, and the
Are,
subscribers are going up and stuff like that. So yeah.
are you putting the audio on SoundCloud too?
I haven't yet. The only reason why, and maybe I should just go ahead and do it, but the only reason why is because I guess I was like, if I'm only on YouTube, then I feel like they got to come here, and I'm hoping that that'll help with the thing. But a lot of people keep telling me like, just put the
Yeah.
audio up.
You
So
should get I think there's like one place you can go to that'll push your audio out to all the different podcast
yeah,
channels. You should do that because you'll just increase your following. You never know. Somebody could be driving in the car, they come
that's true.
across it, they
Yeah,
listen, and then later on they go back and watch the
watch
video.
the
So
video. Yeah, yeah, that's a
I
good
would
point.
definitely definitely try that also, dude.
Yeah, I need to get on it.
The more channels, the better. It's just you increase your exposure. So create
Yeah,
like
that makes sense.
yeah, create a seconds out, podcast channel on whatever it
Yeah.
is. You gotta ask Eric what he used to post on.
Yeah,
I
I'll hit
know
him up.
he used to go on like Apple Podcasts,
Yeah.
SoundCloud, like all those different channels.
Yeah, I definitely listen to you guys on Apple stuff. I know I would always listen to your stuff on
Yeah,
the
because
Apple.
we weren't doing video at first. It was
Right.
just audio.
Yeah.
So we didn't do video till after like 100 episodes, I think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah. Not I and I kind of like the audio better. I guess the video is not super important, honestly. So I probably should just get on that. Uh,
yeah,
yeah. I gotta
you'll
get
just
my
increase your following.
just keep cranking my YouTube stuff up too, trying to get that. Um,
Because that's probably when most people listen to is like when they're driving and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think you're right about that. Or like sitting at work. That was like one of my guys here is always like, Coach, you got to get the thing on, because he's like, and I'm like, bro, just put it on fucking YouTube and just don't look at your phone. Like, what's the difference, you
Yeah.
know? But he's like, no, you got to put it on this and
Yeah,
that.
you
And I'm like,
should.
all right, I'll get around to it. You're right. How you holding up from everything? You recuperated from the tournament and stuff yet?
Yeah, starting to.
Yeah, yeah.
Starting to recover. Yeah, I got sick like over the weekend.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
figure
just
I was waiting for. I usually do after every tournament. It usually gets me good, and I got
yeah.
lucky this time. But yeah, yeah, all you getting around all those people, and then you get that build up of everybody's different germs from all over the country, and before you
Yep,
know it, you're all fucked up.
exactly.
Uh, let me get my little questions here together. Um,
Are you going to
yeah,
do we want to touch
huh?
on the other stuff from like the first episode
Yeah,
yet?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I figured we'd do a little recap first, and then get into all the shit the lost tapes, get into all
Yeah,
the lost tape stuff or
yeah.
whatever. Um, I got my I today I'm working on. I like so last week I like as soon because I've been putting off all this stuff with my mom's house I'm trying to sell, and I'm like I was like, all right, we just got to lock in on the tournament, get everybody ready, make sure we're good, get there, knock that out, and then literally like everybody else last week, like all the fighters and everybody are kind of like laying low and like taking it easy,
Yeah,
and I'm like out painting all day every day around the clock and shit. Just I'm like I'm still beat this week from I haven't like had that like a couple days downtime or nothing
yeah.
yet. Still painted all weekend and shit. And then yeah, this week I gotta start cranking out. Like I was saying on your post, I was like, I haven't even done a post yet really. Like I need to sit down, and I got my blog written for it, and I'm gonna do like kind of like a little mini highlight documentary video for our team and stuff like that.
Nice.
I got it all mapped out today, and I'll start cutting that. I gotta shoot a couple little like clips of me talking and stuff like that, and then yeah, I'm gonna try to bang that out in the next day or so. So yeah, I got a bunch more content coming out about the tournament and stuff too.
Nice.
And then yeah, I linked up with Corley yesterday. Gonna try to link up with Lonnie soon. I wanted to get with you. Um, maybe Mike Weber and a couple of the other officials. I'm just grabbing whoever I can. I just want to get a bunch of different POVs.
Perspectives. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think man, it felt like it was such a perfect storm of things, like everything, uh, and I know it's a big group effort between all you guys. So I just think it was, yeah, it's one that deserves to be documented in as many ways as possible. I think,
Yeah, yeah.
all the work that went into it. And I know, like you did a ton of the people for. I don't know if everybody knows, but you did a lot of like the back end stuff for this, like approving people's, IDs and all that shit. So, all the way up to the brackets. And Corley was telling me that you even had to like manually input a bunch of people's information so it would pop up on the live
Yep.
stream and stuff too. Yeah, talk me through a little bit of that stuff, all the BTS.
Yeah, so I mean, majority of the, the stuff that I do is mostly like technical stuff. So I the whole member like management system that we use, WebPoint, where everybody registers and submits
Yeah.
all their ID and blood work and physicals. That's the thing that I handle most of the time. I create the events. You have me and actually Mama Des that approve all the documents that come in. So like
Yeah.
the birth date verifications, the parental consents, the blood works, the physicals. That's me and Des working on all that to approve. And then like we have that whole help desk where people send in emails or support tickets or whatever. That's also me and Mama Des that handle all that.
Yeah.
So there was a lot leading up to the tournament, especially like the past, like the last month or two before. There were just questions and things coming in every day, because sometimes I know the systems could be a little difficult to navigate if you haven't
Yeah.
done it before. So
Yeah.
but anyway, so yeah, so that's what me and Des kind of work on together. um then when it comes up to like the actual tournament in person, like the whole layout of the event, that's kind of with my background in layout planning and all that. So that's kind of one of
Yeah.
the things that I worked on, was planning out where the athlete area was going to be, where the rings were going to go, where the chairs were going to go, the vendors, all that. And then we get to the other stuff, which you mentioned, the scoring system. So basically all the athletes register through our main platform. And then in order to have the live scoring and have all the athletes' names on the scoreboard and on the live stream, I had to actually manually re-input each athlete into that system, because that's a different platform.
Shit.
So
Yeah.
it's like a lot of data entry. Probably took me about like 8 hours to do that.
Sheesh.
So that that was part of it, where getting that going. And then setting up all the live scoring stuff, where because I ran hardwire to our own network, and all the tablets and the judges, the ringmaster and all that stuff that handles the virtual scoring, that
Mm.
was all run on our own network along with the live stream. So last year I actually did the live stream myself and streamed it
Yeah.
on YouTube. But this year we brought someone else out, which we set it up together, but the pay-per-view and just watching it throughout the entire tournament, because I didn't have the bandwidth to do that this year.
Yeah.
So that was Flash Media, company out from Arizona, that they the guy Mel came in. He had used his streaming devices and his pay-per-view platform, and he handled that aspect of it. But still, we connected all of our equipment that we have, cameras, the tripods, all that stuff. That was part of the things that I set up leading up, when the rings were getting set up.
Yeah.
So there's that whole technical aspect of it. And then once the tournament ends, now we have to re-input all of the results into WebPoint, where everybody's profile is. So that was
Right.
another data entry thing, where
Yeah.
I had to create a spreadsheet from scratch of each bout result, each athlete,
She.
yeah, and then input that into the system, so that everybody can log into their profile and see their record and results.
Yeah. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Can you type
What do you mean?
like on keyboard?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I was
I'm not that old.
yeah. Well, no, I'm just, I still look sometimes. So I'm like, which is hilarious because oh, at least I call myself a writer, but I still like have to look sometimes. And I never really like took the time to like learn. So, but
You know
I
what it
know with
is?
stuff like that, it's hard.
It's not even really like typing, because
Yeah.
when you're looking at things and entering it somewhere else, it you know obviously when typing you can get typos and mess things up. So it's a lot
Yeah.
of copying and pasting to make
Yeah.
sure
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
everything, every ID number, every athlete name, every result, everything is exactly the same. Otherwise,
You're moving
it
stuff from the
won't. Yeah,
spreadsheets.
it won't
Okay.
transpose
Yeah.
properly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just a lot of like tedious, time consuming things.
Yeah, that's hardcore.
Yeah.
That's super hardcore. Well, it all went off smooth, obviously, because no one would have noticed. That guy Mel was awesome. I met him like the first day. we just happened to run into each other in the hallway, and he wasn't sure where to go. So I was like, oh yeah, here I'll show you, because I was heading that way. And then just throughout the weekend, then after that, we were talking, and I like years ago, I was trying to get this thing off the ground. That I was planning to call Strike Pass. That it was just basically Fight Pass and everything else,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I was trying to get I reached out to like Warriors Cup and like all the shows at the time, and was like, listen, like just just preemptively, like if I can get this platform up, um, would you guys be down to like broadcast through here? And everyone was pretty much on board. And then yeah, anyways, I had another
too
a
many
buddy of mine.
projects.
Yeah, and then DAZN popped up, and I was like, this is like all the way back then, and I was like,
Mm.
ah, fuck, these guys are trying to do exactly what I was, because I was going to start with Muay Thai and then try to work my way into boxing a little bit, because, HBO and all that stuff was falling apart. But yeah, anyways, I was talking to him a little bit about it, and I was like, man, we might got to get together and see if we can figure something out, because I still think it would be cool to have something like that.
Yeah,
Just for the simple fact that it'd be, how tough it is sometimes just to find like where the fights are going to be on for all these different shows and stuff like
yeah.
that. It'd be cool to have like a central hub or whatever.
Yeah, it's
Um,
I even like because for this event, what I actually did was I made a link tree just for the event to
yeah,
put
it
all
helped
the
a lot.
yeah
Yeah,
to put all the different links. But even with that and like posting QR codes and social media posts, like people were still like, where do I find the links? Where's the live stream? Where's the live? So it's difficult sometimes to when it comes to all this stuff and getting everything out there.
yeah, yeah, that was one of my questions, was like logistically, what were some of the challenges to, trying to balance, obviously having to input all that stuff, and then things changing on the fly, and then also you got fighters there too, that you're, I'm sure are kind of counting on you to make sure they
Yeah.
make weight and hit pads and all that stuff too. Talk me through that a little bit.
Um, I mean, it's just all kind of a blur now. You just
Hmm.
in the moment you do what you got to do. Like someone
Yep.
needs you here, you go there. You got to do this, you do that. It's just kind of
Yeah.
you know you do what you got to do, and that's probably why like come the end of the tournament, which it always happens to me because I'm always running around like a chicken without a head. Um, I got sick for a couple days, towards the end of last week, so and I just
Absolutely.
had to like spend a day just sitting on the couch. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, like I said, you just kind of do what you got to do. I mean, I think I have a smart watch that I usually don't pay much attention to it. I don't even know why I wear it most of the
Yeah.
time. Because you know what it does actually, it tracks my sleep. So like
Yeah.
now I pay attention to all the sleep that I don't get.
Yeah.
So I have to track it on a daily basis. But throughout the tournament I was actually looking at it and I'm doing like 16, 17, 18,000 steps a day, which I never really pay attention to like steps.
Yeah.
And I went and looked back and I usually average about like 6 or 7,000. But throughout the
Oh shit.
tournament I was
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
17, 18,000 because I'm walking back and forth around the venue to make sure everything's working properly. Then I'm going to work with my athletes and I'm going back here. It's just it's a little hectic, but it's I'm one of those people that just has to be busy all the time anyway. I
Hmm.
can't just sit still. I get anxious when I'm sitting still.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you do a lot of shit, so I
Yeah.
don't think you're ever gonna have to worry about that.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Although once in a while it'd be nice to just lay around and do nothing.
Same, bro. That's exactly where I'm at. I'm just like, I always tell everyone I basically work a year round for like the Thanksgiving week, and I'm like, I know that week everyone's usually pretty much like gone their separate ways. So I'm like, okay, if I can just make it to that week, that's when I can like hibernate for a few
Yeah,
days.
yeah,
And then like we had a couple years where just stuff came up during that time, and then I just feel like I've just been behind on rest for like the last four or
yeah.
5 years, man. It's crazy how that goes.
Yep.
Uh when you're doing like the brackets and stuff like that, are you able to like like see like any matchups and be like, oh, that's gonna be a good one, or are you just kind of like just you're just putting shit together and getting it out?
So the
I
bracket
know it's random, so it's not
process,
like you're like putting them together, but I mean like as
yeah.
they pop up, you know?
So that that process is all computer generated.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
um once we check all the athletes in, then it's pretty much just like a couple clicks of buttons,
Mm-hmm.
and then the computer, you know, generates everything. And it's not like it doesn't pop up one at a time.
Yeah,
It just
okay.
kind
It
of
just puts it all out.
it functions until it's completely done. And
Yeah.
honestly, I don't even look at the matchups because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
the, you know, the main focus at that point is just getting everything out to everybody to make sure they can see, because you know, with the check-in ending usually around like, you know, 7 8 o'clock, then whatever
Mm,
late check-ins come in, the brackets and the schedule isn't coming out till about 10 o'clock at night. So
yeah,
we want to just get that out just for the athletes that have to wake up and weigh in at 6 a.m.
yeah.
So it's not even like I sit there and I look at it. You know, I'll scroll through after the fact and just kind of
You
be
gotta
like,
check
oh,
for your guys too, huh?
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
after the fact, I'll scroll through and be like, oh, that's going to be a good fight. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
that's going to be, you know, but there's, you know, at that point that it's everything is set in stone. We don't edit anything. We don't change anything. It's just completely randomized.
And then when that goes, does it like pre-populate into the app, or did you have to did you guys have to take the computer generated stuff and manually input it?
No, so that's the whole point of the system that we use this year,
Mm-hmm.
where it the all the entering was done beforehand.
Right.
So like that, when I said it took me like 8 hours to enter
Yeah.
each athlete in, so
Yeah.
that was done beforehand because that puts them all into the bracketing system.
Okay.
So, and you put them in, you know, by division, by weight class, or whatever, and then um, the brackets and the schedule automatically gets generated into that system, and then shoots the info over to the judges scoring system.
Oh
So
wow.
it
Damn.
works in sync together. So now
Yeah.
when the judges score a bout, the results automatically get sent back to the brackets, and then it pushes the athlete to the next bracket.
Into the holy
Yeah.
shit.
So it's a really good system.
Yeah.
It was worth it. It made life a lot easier this year compared to last year, where last year at the end of each day I had to go in and manually enter the results of each
Who
bout,
won? Jeez.
and then that would then, you know, push the athletes in the brackets, and then I would
Yeah.
have to, you know, create the bout sheets for the next day. It was a lot more of a manual process last year, where this
Yeah.
year it was just the virtual scoring automatically does everything for you.
And now was that was just part of a new software you guys were
No,
using?
actually, that software is the old software we used to use.
Oh shit.
So I don't know if you remember, before we were in WebPoint, we used to use a software called R Sports.
Yeah.
So they have absolutely perfected the tournament and scoring system, because that's the main software that IFMA uses.
Right.
So
Right.
they created this pretty much for IFMA, and the bracketing and scoring is their bread and butter. You know, we moved over to WebPoint for, you know, managing memberships and certificates and all that stuff. Also,
Mm,
because it's the same platform that USA Boxing uses. So just to
yeah.
be more in line with other Olympic organizations, we're using the same softwares that they use.
That's sick. But back to our sports for the all the scoring and bracketing stuff.
Yeah, that's what we
Yeah.
used this year. We didn't last
Damn.
year, but this year I said, you know what, let's try this out and see how it goes. I know it worked well.
Yeah. No, it
Yeah.
sounds like a lot less work for you too after you get everything punched
Yeah,
in.
and the good thing about it is that it does have that scoreboard that goes on the live stream too, so that you can
Yeah.
see which athletes are in the ring. You can see the score round by round. If you're, because we had the scoreboard ringside last
Right.
year, where you know, if you were there, you were able to see the score, but it wasn't on the live stream. So
Mm.
having it on the live stream with the athletes' names on it, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that. I live scoring like like you get addicted to it. I think once you get a taste
Yeah.
for it, it's just like yeah, like this is the life, you know.
Yeah, because it gives you a clue. Like if you lose the first round, now you know, okay, we got to get working.
Gotta
You know,
make
because
adjustments. Yeah,
you know, obviously us as coaches, and I'm the same way. Even with my own fighters, even though I'm kind of on both sides of it, but when I'm coaching my own fighters, I'm obviously have a little bias because I'm watching what they do, and I think certain things. Then I'll when I go back and rewatch it later, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, you didn't win
yeah,
that round.
and that's
but
funny how that
but
works.
but
Hmm.
because you have that bias, you may always think, your fighter, if it's close, you may think, okay, we got that round, but in reality, you didn't.
Yeah,
So it's good to know that, so maybe midway through the rest, you see you lost the round. It's like, okay, let's make this change. Let's do this. Let's do that. And
yeah.
then you know what instructions to give your fighter while he's out there in order to win the next round.
Yeah, I'm funny. I'm actually the opposite. Like I'm all my brain goes to like we're losing all the time.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
and like so I like it for that because I'm like, oh shit, we got that one. All right, cool. So look,
I do that sometimes
like
too, where I'm
so
like,
many times.
I'll
Yeah.
I'll rewatch one of the fights where I'm like, oh wow, you did a lot better than I thought you
Yeah, yeah.
did.
I think
Because
I think it's hard when you know how good they are and like maybe sometimes around like or like I don't know, they're just like little things where like they're getting touched a little bit more or maybe they're
yeah,
not reacting the way that they usually do just like because you know them so well. It's sometimes you're just like fuck, and
yeah.
then
What are you
then the
doing?
score pops up and you're like, "Oh shit. All right, awesome."
We'll take
Uh
it.
I'm trying to think which one Trey, uh, it was Trey's his final fight. My guy Trey's final fight. I
Okay.
swore I looked at the score for round one against Corley's guy, and I thought that we lost it. So like round two, I'm like, all right, like you know what I mean. I'm like calling shit like we're down, like I'm
Yeah,
giving
yeah.
them this stuff and then I popped in there and I'm like, all right, I know we got that one. And I look at the thing and I'm like, oh shit, we're up two. I was like, all right, cool. Look, just yeah,
Just hold on.
uh, yeah, just do your thing, man. So yeah, it definitely helps, and I think yeah, it really is nice to have that like a little bit of direction and knowing where to point them out a little bit for sure.
Yeah, so
Uh,
I like the live scoring, and it's actually an option that we will have, for any events that we do sanction, whether it's our tournaments or, third party promoters that we sanction their events. We'll have that live scoring option available for any event going forward.
Yeah, that's sick. I know I talked to Corley a little, just like briefly. I meant to talk to him yesterday about it, but I definitely want to get something like the Super Series, like Charlie was doing, going down here at some point. Just like not nothing. I'm not gonna have any lights or anything crazy. Like just get everybody in here, get them in the ring, get some fights. If
Well,
somebody's healthy and they want to do two, you know what I mean? Like let's just get these guys fighting.
in my opinion, that is the best format when it comes to amateurs.
I
I
agree.
mean, listen, the big show, the big production shows, like, they're cool. It's nice to fight
Yeah.
under the lights or whatever. But in terms of experience, the what we call them interclubs because
Hmm.
they're more like local, low
Yes, sir.
level, fully padded, pretty much tournament style, but you only have one fight,
Yep.
single day. So, um, those are it's the best format because you can fight, and when you are fully padded, you're not going to get as banged up as you would in a no pad fight. So
Hmm.
you can fight at this show, and you could fight again in 2-3 weeks
Yeah.
because you're not getting all banged up. You don't need as much recovery time, and that is where we can get these athletes the most experience because the more often you fight, obviously the more experience you get, and that's what the rest of the world is doing. That's why when we go to worlds, you're going up against guys with over 100 fights because they
Yep.
fighting every other weekend,
Yeah.
in this style. So and there's no, I'm not to say you shouldn't fight, under the lights and
Yeah.
in production. That's fine too. But if you fight this way, you'll get more experience because you could fight more
Yeah.
often.
I agree. I
You could
think
even fight in a padded fight, and then 2-3 weeks later, you go fight in an unpadded fight.
100%.
because
Yeah.
you're saving yourself a little bit of the physical trauma to your body.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's just good to get those reps in of just getting your ass in the ring,
Yeah.
just and I think it takes a little bit of the stress out of it. It just doesn't feel like everybody's on you, like how I think that's one of the reasons why I like the tournament so much too, besides the fact you can get more than one fight. Ideally, um they're just worried focused on fighting. They're not worried about how many tickets they sold and who's
Yeah.
there to see them and all that stuff. It's
Exactly.
just like just lock in on what you're here to do, which is what the mindset they're gonna need to be in when they go to IFMA anyway, if they get to that point. So I feel like it's good to just get those reps in.
Yeah, you can get more fights, and that's the most important thing. You can get multiple fights in a weekend, multiple experiences, and I know when I bring my guys to these tournaments, I'm praying to not get the bye.
Yeah, yeah,
I want to get as many fights as possible,
yeah.
especially because there's expenses involved,
Mm,
with travel, hotel, time away from work, whatever it is. Because I actually because I brought the whole team, coaches also, so I had to close the gym
yeah,
Wednesday,
but
Thursday, and Saturday. So,
yeah,
um, that hurts the gym. Actually, gets people out of their routine.
yep.
So when we do that, I want it to be worth it. I want them to get as many fights as possible. So
Yeah, especially at a tournament like this, if you get 2 or 3 fights, you're fighting some of the best people in the country. Like it don't get much better than that. That's for
yeah,
damn sure. Yeah. And
exactly.
speaking of, you guys had one of the, I think almost everybody I talked to, one of everyone said their favorite fight was Rob versus Coey. What are your thoughts on that one?
I mean, it was a good fight. I do think, I said it before the fight. I said it to Rob and anyone else. Corey has just like unlimited cardio.
It's crazy.
His cardio is insane, and he can just do what he does nonstop forever. It feels like.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
and I told Rob that, and I said, you can't brawl with him, you can't fight his fight, and that's exactly what he did.
yeah,
And I said, what do you do? Like after the fight, all said and done, I'm like, why did you do that? Why did you fight his game? He said, because I was having fun. I said, all right, well, it's a,
yeah,
it was like, it was fun. It was a fun fight. I said, all right, well, if that's how you feel, but
yeah.
there's, he could have fought differently. He could have fought a little bit more of his, the game plan that we worked on. But either way, it was a good fight. Um, I like Rob because he'll never back down from anyone. He'll just
Yeah.
keep going nonstop. And no matter how much Corey was coming at him, because that's his style. He just presses, presses, presses.
Hmm.
Rob didn't back down. He kept on trying to go back at him, and he ran out of steam, and it got to a point where everything he was throwing, it just didn't have anything behind it really because he was
Yeah.
just exhausted. So
That's tough. How many fights did he have? Was it
uh,
2 or 3?
he had two at the tournament.
Two at the tournament.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's shit. I mean, like I said again, like for people who don't understand, like this is again, these are like the top guys in the country. So imagine having a really hard fight and then having to go do it again and make weight and
yeah,
yeah, it's a tough. But again, these are like there were so many fights this at this tournament that like win or lose were the ones that um people really needed to like if you really want to go to IFMA, like people got a taste of like where they need to be. Like
yeah,
my 2 kids both one fought one of the Zelensky kids and then the other one fought Landon Cahill. So like they're super outgunned, but I'm like, man, we're going. Like that's
yeah.
who's in our bracket. Like if you guys want to go to the World Championships one day, like we're gonna have to dethrone these kids at some point. So
Yeah,
you gotta
they
just
didn't.
start fighting them.
They went for it. They
Yeah,
went for it. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, but and I say it all the time. I think I said it, on the first episode that you forgot
yeah,
to record.
yeah, yeah.
um, I think one hard fight is worth 4 tomato cans of
I
experience.
agree,
You know,
absolutely.
it's better to have these hard fights. I mean, you don't want to take a fight where you're going to be severely outclassed and possibly get hurt, but taking that hard fight is way better than just, beating somebody up. So
I
I
wholeheartedly
prefer them.
agree.
And if you come out on top, that's great. But if
Yeah.
not, once you can accept the fact that you lost, you can learn from it.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
so it's good.
I think I've talked about it a bunch of times on these episodes, but I always tell my fighters, like knowing how to lose is just as important as knowing how to win. And sometimes you don't really know how to win until you know how to lose because that fire really in you. Like if you still want to fight after you lose a tough one, like you really are about this
Yeah.
shit. Like
But see, there's one expression that a lot of people use in this community, and it bothers me when people say either you win or you learn.
yeah, I fucking hate that too.
Because to me, can you learn from a loss? Yes, but
Yeah,
you have to accept that you lost first. So it's either you win
absolutely.
or you lose. There's
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
nothing in between.
yeah. There's
So
nothing else. Yeah.
and when you realize you lost, then you can learn from it and move
Yep.
forward.
Yep. No, I wholeheartedly agree, and I know that, like now, and I tell them now, like, guess what? Next time you don't have to fight somebody with 70 fights, it's gonna feel fucking awesome,
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna be like, oh shit, this is way better. I like this a lot, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and you're gonna, your level is gonna be that much different and stuff. So, yeah, I'm excited to get them right back to work and just get to it. With between like obviously as the days are moving and you're seeing how things are progressing, uh was there any fights that kind of stood out to you outside of your guys?
I mean, there was a lot of good fights, and to be honest, I really don't get to sit down and
Yeah,
watch full fights.
yeah,
So I'm catching around here, around there. But it was a lot of good fights. A lot,
yeah,
I can't even remember any of the names off the top of my head right now. But
yeah,
I
yeah,
remember
yeah,
like, catching around, be like, oh, that kid's really good. Even some of the ones that didn't win, it's like, oh wow, that kid's gonna be good. I caught a couple rounds of your kids against, way more experience, and they went for it. So
yeah,
they definitely have a bright future. If they this is just, it's a numbers game, like
yep,
what I was saying before with getting the experience. So this is a numbers game, and you can see, even though someone could be the most talented person in the world, but most of the time that experience is still going to prevail.
absolutely,
Because it
yeah,
develops your ring IQ, it develops everything. So experience is where it's at. Just need rounds. You just
yep,
need to get in there and go round by round by round by round. Just get the rounds in. So
yeah,
and that's, again, with, talking about my own fighter before, that was one of the things, the lack of experience in him is what caused him to fall into someone else's game plan.
mm-hmm,
And as he develops, he can learn from that. And next time he gets back in there, maybe he'll focus more on his game rather than falling into someone else's game.
how many fights does Rob have now?
Now after the tournament, he's at
Yeah,
13.
that's awesome. Yeah, fuck yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, damn, yeah. He's on that stage already, so I feel like that's exciting to see. Like some more guys coming up in that, especially in that weight. Because there's a bunch of killers hovering around right in that zone.
Yeah,
So
that's a tough
yeah,
weight area, that 140, 147, 156. Those are like
yeah,
really popular brackets. But yeah, I mean, Rob, he actually, we put him into elite because, some with some of these athletes, even though elite is 15 and up, we do allow, if people submit to move up to elite, we do allow it based on previous, fights, videos or whatever. So there's a couple athletes that we've moved up that technically were intermediate, but we felt belonged in the elite class. And he was what was he, 10-1 going into that tournament, and he had won, like, I think two like local titles already. So
yeah.
when I asked about moving him up, they were like, yeah, we could put him in elite.
That's
So
fire. Yeah, we weren't sure, so we actually, now I'm outing myself, but for Trey was like I think he has 13, so we just but he had a couple smokers, so we were like, we'll just count those. Whatever, you're in
Well,
there.
we do
You know
we
what I
do
mean?
count the smokers. I mean, they
Okay,
they
cool. Well, then
they
that's
do
it. Yeah,
count.
yeah. So
Yeah.
then he technically had him. So yeah, yeah, he was right. He was official like bouts. I think he was 13-1, but he was. I mean, what is that? So he's one. He was only like one away anyway. So I figured it wouldn't really matter that much,
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm pumped to finally get back. It's been some years since we had somebody on the team, so I'm excited to finally get back there. Anything pop out like from I can't imagine what how much there would be because it really did feel like everything's smooth. But there anything like that you would want to improve on for next year? Any changes you think?
Um, I mean, from like a back end perspective, I mean, I've everything ran smooth. I felt. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously, in the moment, everything feels hectic to me.
Yeah.
But then, obviously, talking to you, you while you're there, and other people that are saying, no, no, it's going really smooth. It's great.
Yeah.
That kind of calms everything down. But a couple things that I would improve on, maybe just overall, like presence. You know,
Mhm.
um, maybe like like come check-ins, like and have more like signs that say, the little
Stand
stuff
here.
like
Go there. Yeah,
not,
yeah, yeah.
coaches this way, or like actual
Mhm.
real like banners and stuff like that, rather than just
Yeah.
printing a piece of paper with an arrow on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But little things like that don't really mean much, but at the end of the day, to me it looks
It's
nice. So
professional.
yeah, just
Yeah, for
a little
sure.
bit more on the presentation end would be nice. But other than that, I mean, I'm happy with the way everything went. I'm happy with the way it looked. Uh, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean that's for like I said, I everyone was super happy. Everyone loved how it ran. We were all new like when we were supposed to be ready, the like Lonnie's people crushed it, making
Oh
sure
yeah.
the gear was there, like uh no one lost their
Everybody that
driver's license.
everybody that was involved in this, no matter what part they played, from Gary Grant and his ring crew
Yeah,
that
he's the
that we
man.
rented the ring from, Mel from Flash in the live stream,
Hmm.
all the Lonnie's volunteer crew, everyone that played a part in this tournament did absolutely phenomenal. They made it what it was. All of those people, and obviously, Mama Des, she's one of the best when it comes to
Yeah, yeah.
managing the flow of things. Making sure that the athletes are where they're supposed to be. uh Tournament would not run smooth, without her involved. It
Yeah.
would be You need like four people to replace what she does.
Yeah, for sure. And everyone respects her. Everyone knows, like, if Des says do something, we're all like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody messes with
I
her for
call her
sure.
the mother of Muay Thai.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Well, Corley said you were the MVP from his standpoint. So
Oh, I was.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He gave you the MVP status. He had all good things to say, and was talking about all the work you had to put in to make things happen. So yeah,
Everybody
hopefully.
put in a lot of work.
Yeah, no, you can tell. Like I said, it was really smooth. Like I'm like it's one of those things where I'm like, damn, I wish that one was like twice a year, But
Yeah.
I think that shit might kill you guys, obviously.
Oh,
But
forget it.
we're looking forward to the next one already for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm hoping, even going back to, people involved, like all of the employees from the venue, also from the Chase Center on the riverfront. I mean,
mhm.
they were phenomenal too. And anything we needed for the, whether it was for athletes or for staff, like they were on point, everything, so that's,
Yeah,
hopefully.
ice and the things like I mean it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just yeah.
And that certain thing we didn't even ask for. Like they
Yeah.
saw that athletes were going to get ice, so they brought us over buckets of ice. Like they were great.
Crazy. Yeah.
The people from the Westin Wilmington, they were really accommodating to,
Yeah.
anything we needed there. A couple little knuckleheads causing trouble that they were like, we don't care, we're good with it. So
Yeah.
they were, everything was really good. So I'm hoping that we can do that setup again next year also, where it's the Westin Wilmington and the Chase Chase Riverfront.
Yeah,
So
I'm hoping so too.
yeah,
I
well,
really
I
like
mean,
that.
it's really convenient compared to last year where we had, the hotel and the venue were like 15 minutes away from each other, and you had to drive every day to the venue. This
Yeah.
is, I mean, I parked when I got there on Wednesday, and I didn't get in my car again until I left on Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, I just, it was just the tunnel that going back and forth from the venue to the hotel.
Yeah, no, it was a great it was a great setup. And it was beautiful. I mean the venue was
Oh yeah,
like a straight ballroom, like
yeah.
yeah, straight out of a movie.
Unfortunately, we won't get that room again next year.
Yeah, that's what Corley was saying, but it's like another one right on right
Yeah, so they have
around the way.
another room at the other end
Yeah.
of the venue. They just said that because we booked that, um, obviously when we booked it back in 2024, and
Mm,
then between the time we booked it and the time of the event, they put like $1 million renovation into it.
you could tell.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean the place is beautiful. So
Yeah.
they were just like, because you had it booked already, we're gonna continue and move forward. But they were like, going forward, we don't want any athletics in this room.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So they want to hold that for more like we actually tried to book them last year, the year when we were at the Hocus and PAL,
Yeah.
and they didn't have the room available because they had like an Indian wedding that they were bringing in like a real elephant for.
Oh
It was,
shit.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty wild. So like they want to keep that room specifically for like weddings and
Yeah, yeah.
galas and things like that. So
Get all
they'll
immaculate. Although
yeah.
I think we did good. I don't see anybody people crazy spilling stuff or leaving trash and
No, I think
yeah.
we did okay for the most part. I didn't
Yeah.
see any issues, and they didn't come back to us and say there was any issues. So
Yeah, that's great.
I'm happy about that. The group that we had this year, everybody was pretty respectful. But yeah. So we'll see next year if
Nah, I
everybody.
can't wait. I can't wait. I'm gonna hit you with a couple rapid fire and then I'll go chop this one and then get into the lost tapes action. Besides Rob and Coey, did you have a favorite fight of the weekend? I know you didn't really get to see a ton of stuff, but anything stand out?
I'll tell you what. The one fight that stands out that I remember the most was I can't remember his name, but it was a kid from Team Link
Mm-hmm.
in Massachusetts. It was 16, 17-year-old division
Yeah.
against Quinn
Oh, from Eastside?
from East Side.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
heard that was
so
good. I didn't get to see that
oh
one.
that
I heard that
kid.
fight
I
was a
mean,
banger.
I never seen that kid before, and he actually moved up like one or two weight classes because there was no one
Shit.
in his division to fight
Yeah.
Quinn. And yeah, that kid was phenomenal. I mean, that was a really good fight.
Yeah.
And I think he even surprised Quinn at first too, because I think he won that first round.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that fight stood out to me. Obviously, another one was Manny from East Side and David
And David,
Delapaz.
yeah, that was
Yeah,
awesome.
that was a really good fight too.
Yeah.
Two like both really clean technical fighters. That was a good one. But
Yeah, that's definitely. I'm pretty sure that'll be everybody's top three for sure. In the top three, I think everybody I talked to, that was a even just like the thought of it was exciting just in itself because
yeah, yeah,
obviously Brian, if Brian sent somebody, they're a killer, and we all know that Manny's a beast. He's been tearing it up for quite
yeah,
some time. He's beat some of the best people in America, and so yeah, that was a big W too. Obviously,
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that was a good one for sure.
I mean, the cool thing is about that situation was that David actually came up from U23 because he didn't have anybody.
Right. Right, right,
So
right.
so he's gonna go to Worlds in that U23 spot, and
Yeah,
then Manny can still go in the senior spot because
which
that
is
was
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
because that was his spot from
That's
last
like a
year.
win-win.
Yeah,
They both
exactly.
get a
So
tough fight. So somebody gets a W, but they both going to go to IFMA, which is great for us as a
yeah,
team, obviously, to have both guys still going and represent. So, yeah, I'm pumped. Yeah, yeah.
same with Coey and Rob too.
Right, right. So is Rob going to get to go?
in the senior spot.
in the
Yeah,
scene. That's fucking
Corley's
great.
going to be
Yeah,
on the
yeah, yeah. Because
23.
it's like, yeah, if those guys can do the under 23, like, why not? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
which
get that experience for as long as you can.
sometimes the U23 might even be harder than senior these days.
Yeah, which is
Because
crazy.
all
Yeah,
these the really tough countries, they're loading up with their U23s.
yeah,
Some top guys, even if they are like elite A class fighters, if they're under 23, they're putting them in under 23.
yeah, yeah,
And sometimes in senior, you'll get some countries that aren't as strong, that have limited teams, that you might get there's no easy fights in IFMA,
no, yeah,
but
yeah, absolutely.
sometimes you might get a good draw where you might not get as hard of a fight for
Country or
your
something.
first one
Yeah,
out there. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's an interesting situation. I remember Aaron's first year. We got Hong Kong first, and I was like, oh fuck yeah! I was like, I never even heard of Hong Kong having any good Muay Thai people, and that girl was a fucking beast. Like
Yeah, yeah,
she fought just like Aaron, like had great boxing, super aggressive. Like 30 seconds in round one, I'm like, oh, what the fuck?
yeah.
I thought maybe we are going like, not obviously not easy, but I was like, I thought this one was in the bag. But
No,
yeah, they
there's
just
no
they're
easy
there, they're
fights.
killers. Yeah.
No easy fights there.
Um, anyone you think that everyone should keep an eye on? Obviously, we mentioned a whole bunch of people like that are going to IFMA this year. You give me a couple if you want to. I mean, I know there's shit. I think everyone should look at Rob. I'm excited about Coey, obviously. David, obviously too. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
lot
I
of
mean,
standouts.
we have some good teams this year, whether
Yeah,
it's the senior, the U23, or the youth.
yeah.
I mean,
The youth's gonna smash this year
yeah,
for sure.
there's a lot of good athletes on these teams. So I think just watch them all.
Yeah,
Pay
watch 'em.
attention. Pay attention. Follow the worlds. You'll definitely see some really good fights for sure.
I think it was cool to see the youth team from last year really was like sticking together at the tournament. That was cool. You like if you like looked around the room, me and Corley talked about this a little bit. You would see them all kind of like if
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
them was fighting, they were all there, and I think most of them, if not all of them, won again. So they're all going back. So that's so cool to see because you're like seeing this like
yep.
it's like the Avengers being born
Yeah, like
almost,
a
and they're
camaraderie.
gonna be in the adults at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, you see them, growing together, even though most of them live on opposite sides of the country. They stay
Yep.
friends. Like, that's definitely cool to see.
Yeah, it's badass. It's like got the all the makings of a future Disney movie or something, man. I gotta start working on the script.
Yeah.
Uh, what's more stressful, cornering or all the logistic stuff that you gotta do?
Cornering.
Yeah, yeah.
I think so. I was talking to a couple coaches because, I mean, I'm coaching now 12 years, and
Mhm.
I'm not the I haven't had a whole bunch of fighters come out of my gym just because of the area that I'm in. We don't get a whole bunch of people that want to compete. So I've cornered my share of fights, but there's
Yeah.
some people, coaches that I'm friends with, have more experience, and I always ask questions, and I'm like, I said, you probably have hundreds of fights compared to what I've done. Do the nerves of coaching a fighter ever go away? And everybody's response is no.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, even as many fights as I've cornered, like, I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack before every fight.
Yeah.
That's it's like, and I feel like I'm more nervous than the fighter is, but I try
Yep.
hard not to show it.
Yeah, you gotta be a
So
duck. Yeah.
yeah, it's just so to me that's harder. I mean, when it comes to doing logistics of planning and operations, and that's easy to me. Can it be stressful? Yeah, because you want to make sure everything gets done, and obviously I'm a little bit of a perfectionist too, so I want everything to be a certain way. But yeah, because if I'm doing something when it comes to logistics and planning, I know what the outcome is going to be. When you're
That
going
makes
into
sense.
a
Yeah,
fight,
yeah, yeah.
you never
Yeah,
know
you have
what
no
the
idea.
outcome is going to
Yeah.
be. Yeah, so
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. Cornering, I've been since 2009, I think, was when I first started cornering fighters. So, whatever that is. And then, Yeah, it doesn't get any easier. I think it's tougher too, because you really care about them. Obviously, you build that bond with them, and you're just like,
Yeah.
and you know what they're capable of, and sometimes it doesn't come out, and yeah, it's tough, man.
Yeah.
It ain't an easy gig. I think people see it, and you see all these guys. I don't know how it is up in your area, but around here, all these motherfuckers want to be little fake coaches. All of us, like they get like two fights, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm helping this guy get ready," and I'm like, "Bro,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't know shit." But and they're sometimes too ignorant to
Understand it.
yeah, understand like the stress of it, and because they like I feel like if you don't feel like that, like you're not a real coach, in my opinion. Like if you're not
Yeah.
stressed out, it's because you don't care. You just want to
Yeah.
be
You
like,
don't really
yeah, look
care.
at I showed this guy everything
You're
he
just looking
knows,
for clout.
Yeah, exactly. So
But I think it was who was it that because I asked a bunch of people that question, and I think it was Sean Madden that he was just like he said honestly, he said my nerves are based on almost like the stakes of the fight.
yeah,
For like
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
it's like a low level local show. Like I don't really get it. He's like, but this is tournament is especially in the elite division, it's higher stakes. Like it's a
Mm.
bigger deal. The win or the loss or the outcome, whatever. So, which that makes sense too. I kind of resonated with that a little bit because if you're cornering for like you know an exhibition smoker, like
Yeah,
you don't really feel those same nerves than when you do for a national championship, in the elite division.
absolutely.
So
And
yeah,
even and I think even some other shows and tournaments and stuff like that, like no disrespect obviously, but same like you like if you're like, oh, this country is not like it's not Russia, you know what I mean? It's not Belarus or something like that. So you're like, obviously it's gonna be tough, but it ain't that tough.
yeah,
So I think there's sometimes some teams where you're like, I know they're good, but like we've been here before or whatever it is,
yeah,
and then but this tournament is like you're like fuck, like you don't want to lose to any of these motherfuckers because they're your most of them are your homies, so
yeah,
all it's all like as much as you are happy if they do win, you want to see everybody do good. You're like, man, I don't want to lose to this person either.
yeah.
So yeah, it's a tricky situation. I had the last two fights we had. I had my girl Yaz and my girl Sunny fighting at the same damn time, and I was like, "Oh my god, that shit!" I almost lost my mind during that one. And then Sonny had fought Sean Madden's girl actually. So I was
Okay.
like, I'm like trying to kind of like Yaz was like doing her things, like sealing the rings, and Sonny's fight just started. So I'm like, drive right
Yeah.
kick, move, yelling from the other ring and shit. And I actually didn't even know because Yaz she like won by TKO. I'm like, cool, good job. And I like turn around and they got Sonny and Sean's girl in the middle. I'm like, oh fuck. And Des just happened to be walking by and she's like, you got it. And I'm like, all right, thank God, man. That shit was so stressful because Sunny
Yeah.
had a crazy her last fight would just she just kind of had one of those days where she just kind of I don't know mentally just wasn't there and just
Yeah.
didn't do any of the stuff that she normally does and um yeah, so this was like the first fight back since that and
Okay.
I'm like in my head I'm thinking like it's gonna work out and I'm gonna be able to run over there before her fight's over and then it
Yeah.
just all
Yeah. No.
popped off and
Never
yeah.
works out the way you want it to.
Yeah, yeah. But luckily, I have my guy Adrian with me, who's like my shadow clone. I mean, he literally like you would think if you close your eyes and you listen to what I normally say, you would think it was my voice coming out of his
Yeah.
mouth. So
That's good.
he cornered her perfectly, and they got the win. And so yeah, super grateful for that. But yeah, that last little bit there was wild, man, for sure. Yeah. I was ready to go drink some beers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was ready to go drink some beers. Uh,
Yep.
well, cool, brother. Well, thank you for doing the recap with me. You still got some time to jump into this other stuff?
Yeah. Sure.
My man. All right, cool.